Hi everybody, it's Grant from Designish. Recently, Good Boy Ninja dropped Keyframes.fun, an activity site for motion designers, people who use Adobe tools, things like that, that's packed full of different quizzes, personality tests, just kind of fun daily games you could play, such as trying to find the exact hex code on certain color palettes, and more. If you don't know who Good Boy Ninja is, it's an individual who creates After Effects tools that takes tedious tasks within After Effects, such as offsetting layers, and creates tools around them to really just make the user experience better and get you in and get you out faster. To be perfectly clear, this is not a sponsored video. I just like what he's doing. I've been following his development for a while, and so I wanted to check out his recent project, Keyframes.fun, and kind of check it out. So let's dive into some Keyframe.fun activities. All right, so we're on Keyframes.fun. Let's just check this out. Let's try the quiz. Which keyframe are you? I actually sent this team mine to kind of see what they would get, and it was interesting to see the results, so let's find out what we are. All right, let's do this. Which AE keyframe are you? What's your main use of After Effects? Work, study, personal projects, fun, or I don't have time for a quiz, I have a deadline. That is definitely it. It is deadline central. What did your After Effects look like? Pretty much the way it looked when I first opened it. A super customized workspace that fits my needs. Actually, my workspace is pretty vanilla. So I'm gonna go ahead and click that. I used to do the whole thing where I had plugins in every single panel. I just really kind of don't do that as much anymore. I kind of have my system now, so I'm just in and out. What is your go-to way to caffeinate yourself? Instant capsules or ground of my favorite blend? What I recommend order at the coffee shop? Pop open a soda can or energy drink, or I don't drink caffeine. I love a good coffee. May not be great for you, but I love a good coffee. Do you use plugins? I can't live without them. Does Mocha count? I have a few good ones that I can always rely on, mostly free ones I stumbled upon online. After Effects is just good enough as is. And finally, I have a wish list that keeps on growing bigger. I think ultimately I have a few that I really rely on. Actually, Ease Copy is probably one of my most used ones, just because, again, I typically use the same kind of curbs in my interpolation, so I just kind of jump in, grab them, paste them in the next place. How often do you save your project? When I remember to, I trust autosave my life. I don't think about it. My fingers do it automatically. And finally, every other second, too many bad experiences. Definitely the last one. I used to do music production using a tool called Studio One by PreSonus. If you're not familiar with that, it was kind of like the middle ground between Fruity Loops and Pro Tools. And I mean, I remember a couple times where I would just lose files, especially if I wasn't saving iteratively. So I'd have a file that after 20 hours of work would be corrupt. And so it really just kind of taught me to Control S, just literally like every 10 seconds. Autosave is great if you use it, but I just keep saving. So every other second. Do you rename your pre-comps? Sometimes when it's important, of course, and I change the label color too. Nah, I'm on top of things without it, and no, who has time for that? I have a basic structure for how I name my comps. And once it gets to the point where I'm just pre-comping after pre-comping after pre-comping, and it's a tight deadline, and I know that no one else is going to open that project file, and I'm not going to open that project file in 3 months, I kind of stop naming the comps, to be honest. But I do have a fundamental system. So sometimes when it's important. What does your calendar look like? It contains important deadlines and the occasional date night. I store it all inside my beautiful dome. It's tight and organized up to the minute. And finally, I am just too scared to look at it. All right, so this is just words of advice from Grant, but I really can't recommend this enough. Block out your calendar into time segments to do your work. It doesn't mean like every block is a specific action, but it means that if you're going to take care of emails, you're going to do it for an hour in the morning at this time from 9 to 10, and that is what it's for. It is for emails. I guarantee you, if you don't think that way and you're just constantly swapping activities throughout the day like no tomorrow, it may be on the idea of like meeting people's demands as they come to you, but you will lose so much efficiency, and that's going to lead to a lack of effectiveness. I cannot say this enough. Block out your time. You'll find that you are far more productive that way, at least from my point of view and from what I've experienced and so forth. So I would say it's tight and organized up to the minute. Which label color resonates the most with you? Sandstone, blue, dark green, or red? I'm going to say red. I believe that's the text layer color, and I'm just always Control-T'ing right when I get to a project for the most part. So I end up seeing a lot of red very quickly. So red it is. It's been a tough year at work and you can't afford to pay for After Effects anymore. What do? Do you pirate it? Do you keep making new emails to get free trials? Do you raise your rate so you can pay for it? Or do you think it's kind of just time to quit? I think realistically, raise your rates out of those 4 options. There are some people who they pirate it just on the basis of like they're just going to pirate things. There are some people who are going to keep making new emails because they think the price is just too high. But ultimately, I think that the tools have to be priced in a way to where when the industry uses the tools, it's still profitable for the people using the tools to some degree. So I would say ultimately just raise your rates, personally. All right, the client comes back with a change request after you've already delivered the final product. What do? Charge them extra. It's just business. Totally ignore them and hope they go away. I'll do it for free. It's part of the job. I stress out. So I think this is really kind of up to like that specific type of client. I know there are clients out there who they will do that. They'll come to you 6 months later and you have not talked to them in that 6-month period. And all of a sudden they're going to go, hey, I need to make some edits. Can you do it? If you have not talked to that person in 6 months, guess what? It is additional business. I would absolutely charge in that instance. However, if it was an ongoing retaining client that it was like I'm delivering a certain amount of videos every single month and I have a really good relation with them and they come to me and say, hey, can you just make this quick change on this final product? I know we've already kind of said it was done, but it would really help us. Then yeah, absolutely. I'm probably just going to go ahead and do it for free to say it's part of the job, because I know that in the long run, it kind of builds up a little bit rapport with them. It kind of builds loyalty with them in between us, and overall helps the relationship. So I would say, just for the sake of this answer, I'm assuming, let's just say it's the client that you haven't talked to in 6 months, then yes, charge them. What's the only correct way to preview your comp? Spacebar, press 0 on the number pad, press the play button, and I don't have time to preview my comps. Spacebar. I just hit spacebar. I basically have like taken off the paint, coding, whatever on my keyboard at this point from just hitting the spacebar over and over again. So, boom. Which of these legends would be your spirit animal? Andrew, Joey from School of Motion, Corridor Digital, and Dave. Out of all 4 of these, I would probably say Joey. So, boom. And finally, finish. Let's see what we are. And we are a whole keyframe, the purist. You've been around a long time. How are you still here? You probably remember when After Effects default UI was bright gray. All the experiences made you very knowledgeable. However, you're not afraid to help your fellow motion designers out on various subreddits and forums. Adobe should be paying you commission for being their unofficial spokesperson. You'll defend After Effects as the ultimate tool until the end of days, even when other alternatives emerge. And there we go, there is the quiz. So let's see if maybe there's one more activity on the homepage we want to check out. All right, so it looks like we have the daily games, the color match, where you're essentially just trying to match the hex code. Visually, we have the tier list at the bottom, and then finally we have the different tools that Good Boy Ninja actually makes at the bottom as well with the power-ups. So let's check out the daily games. As you can see, I may have already played this one before. Again, my team checked it out, but I think I only played for the first day, so I'm gonna be a little rusty at this. And boom, let's do this. All right, so we gotta get the color on the right. Let's see here, probably over here a little bit. Start going a little darker. Looks like we're gonna be going a little bit grayer, darker again. Almost there. Not quite. I think it needs to go up. It's not quite there. Okay, I would say that's fairly close. It needs to be a little darker. Yeah, that looks kind of good. All right, submit. 99, nice. Okay, cool. Continue. Let's go to green. And that one's gonna be a little more on the right. No. Okay. Blue, maybe. Right. No, a little bit brighter. Blue. I'm not on the money, but it's really close. I might just call it here. Okay. I'm gonna say that's like probably in the 95%. Let's find out. All right, 97.1. There is a pretty drastic difference there once you get it side by side. Okay. All right, let's check this out. Gonna just kind of play around a little bit with this one. Let's have a little fun with this one. Bring green up a little bit. You know what? That's pretty close, actually. But it's a little richer on the right. It's a little more saturated. Okay. It's not quite there. It needs like a dash of green. Without going too much into the blue. All right, I'm gonna say that's probably 97%, right? 94, ouch. View results, boom, there we go. So we had one that was really strong with the 99, and then we had a 97%, and then a 94.6, which I'm just gonna round up to 95%. So overall, pretty good score. So not bad. Okay, awesome. So we did the quiz and we did the daily color match. I am probably going to come back at some point and do the Adobe CC apps tier list. That seems like it'd be pretty fun. Maybe some of the other tier lists too. But yeah, there you go. Overall, I've had a good bit of fun with the website, seeing what my team members are getting with their personality quizzes, what kind of keyframe types they are, and just seeing who can get closest percentage-wise to correctly matching the color codes and so forth. So I recommend checking it out. Again, this is not a sponsored video. I just liked what he was doing and wanted to kind of jump in and check it out.